Well, in Nzinga, there had been a whole lot of confusion this morning after we received a document which indicated that the media was not allowed to take the bail application live. After then, we had approached the Chief Magistrate's office. We were then told we were able to take the bail proceedings live. However, we were not allowed to take witnesses live or even take the proceedings of witnesses who would come to testify live. But when we got back inside court, the presiding magistrate then subsequently ruled that we needed to switch off our cameras as the proceedings got underway, and of course we obliged. We also did not live tweet from the proceedings as a result of the court order that had been handed down in the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court this morning. This is obviously before the proceedings got underway. So in Nzinga, after all that was done, but before, we of course had wind this morning that the bail application of Dr. Nandipha Magudumana would not be going ahead. Some of my sources had informed me that her legal team was yet to peruse through some new information that was brought to the fore, and that would mean then that they are not ready to proceed with her bail application. That was then confirmed inside this court with the lawyers representing Dr. Nandipha Magudumana not necessarily wanting to use the word abandoning bail and basically saying they would want to move it to a later stage. But of course, she has abandoned bail. It's not taking place today, and she'll be back due in court on the 16th of May. And quite notably, this is the same day that Thabo Bester will be back in court, and also her father, Zolile Cornelius Sekeleni. So the three of them will be back in this court on the 16th of May. Whether the bail application for Dr. Nandipha Magudumana will then be ready to proceed, that is something that we will be able to see once the proceedings get underway on the 16th of May. But let's just quickly get to those bail applications, because the public certainly did not have access to that. They don't know what happened in Nzinga. Sinoya Matsware, who is the first accused in this matter, in his affidavit basically says that he's not guilty. He didn't act in common purpose to any crime. He says he takes care of his aunt in an old age home, and he also said he was correcting what was in the public domain. He says his dismissal from G4S was not due to aiding and abetting Thabo Bester. He says he was arrested at his place of residence, and we would remember there'd been quite, some media coverage about posts that he had made on Facebook in which there was a new vehicle that he had posted next to, or had posed next to, and that was put on social media. And the implication, or it was implied, that those are the proceeds of what he had received as a result of aiding and abetting the escape of Thabo Bester. He says in his affidavit it was financed through the bank. He also says he was paying installments, and he says in fact he didn't pay a deposit. So him wanting to clarify that aspect. Also in his affidavit, he says he won't flee. He had cooperated with police, and he basically says that he can afford bail of 3,000 rand. Let's get to the next one. The same lawyer who was representing Matsware is also representing accused number 7, who is Teo Makotse. He says also he will plead not guilty. He says he did not participate in any escape. He says he has children that are dependent on him, and he also has a wife. He has no pending cases against him. He says he did not flee. He says he does not know who the state witnesses are that will be called, so there is no chance of him jeopardizing this matter. He says his release on bail will not jeopardize the case, and he wants bail of 3,000 rand. Teboho Polo, who is accused number 3 in this matter, he says his kids attend school, his wife is unemployed. He says he also intends to plead not guilty. He, though, has a previous conviction, as we've previously heard inside this court, of stock theft. And he says he doesn't have any money, but his family could raise 5,000 rand. Accused number 6, that's Matonye Masukela. He's facing a Schedule 5 offense. He says he won't evade trial. He says he's suffering from diabetes. He is a breadwinner. He is able to afford bail of 3,000 rand. Anastasia Janssen, who would recall, was arrested together with the accused number 7. She says she has 2 kids. She's a single parent. You'd recall she was arrested on the 1st of May this year, and she says she doesn't know who the witnesses were. And she says, of course, as we do know, that is the public domain, She was dismissed from G4S in December 2022. You'd recall she is one of the former CCTV control room operators, together with accused number 7, who had were the last 2 to be arrested. So that was the crux of the bail applications that were brought before this court. We're expecting the state, then they say they will lead oral evidence. That will happen once we return to the courtroom at 2 o'clock. But essentially, all of them are saying that they will plead not guilty to all the charges against them, basically saying they are not flight risks and that they will not tamper with witnesses and Zinga.